Game ain't over. The sun is shining. And it ain't over.
You wanted the best, you got the best from my home studio on Long Island, New York. Welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto, here with a news update, and this is absolutely going to amaze you that Tim Lambesis of As I Lay Dying is back in the news for something negative. Wow, this is my shocked face right here. Please, stop defending this man. That's the message of this video. This is going to be a quick one. It's pretty simple. I don't know why people are still defending this guy. And I think it's because regular people try to look for the good in others. But when repeatedly, again and again, this is not a guy who does a oopsie, I made a mistake here. No, let's run through the history here. This man attempted to kill the mother of his children and his wife, and the only reason this woman wasn't killed was because he hired a Fed at his gym that I think he was trying to buy steroids off of or something like that. I may not have that completely right, but he went to jail, is then released from jail, tries to reconcile with his bandmates in As I Lay Dying. The band reunites. All of those guys leave because they go, this man is extremely troubled and he has never learned from his mistakes, and I can't work with him again. He then replaces all of those members with other respected members of bands that put their reputation on the line to join him, stupidly, in my opinion, join him. Guys like Ken Susi from Unearth. And then, more recently, all of these guys leave and put out statements saying, I morally can't continue to work with this person. He's doing things that are reprehensible. Big shocker, right? Look at his history. He marries another woman after leaving prison, which I have no idea why any woman would want to marry someone who attempted to kill their last wife, but people never cease to amaze me. And he gets into a physical altercation with this woman now, which is on video. And the most recent news is that he is seen on video abusing a dog. And I am a dog lover, and this is reprehensible. I don't want to show any of that footage on screen. I don't need to ruin anyone's day with that. We always talk about cancel culture in today's society. This is a guy who needs to be canceled for good. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm sure I do things in my everyday life sometimes that would not reflect other people's morals. They may not be a fan of me for it. That's understandable. That's not this. This is a guy who has done the most reprehensible things and has never learned from them. And I think so many people just try to see the best in others. I heard his interview on Jamie Josta's podcast, and I could tell Jamie Josta wants to hear, what is the story behind the story? And guess what? Sometimes there is no story behind the story. Sometimes there's just really bad people who never learn, and this guy should continue to be in prison, in my opinion. Like I said, the only reason that this attempt on his wife didn't pan out was because he hired a Fed. If he hired a real hitman, his wife would be dead, and he'd be going on with life as usual as if nothing happened. That's who this man seems to be. And people just, I don't want to slander anyone else. People just continue to defend this guy. People I think are otherwise good people, and I just don't get it. I interviewed Jake, the lead singer of the band Mantis, and he was talking about how he still hangs out with him, and we're going to work on a project together. People like Craig Golias, who's a big bodybuilder on Instagram, who's like a social media personality. Dana Lynn Bailey, who is a professional bodybuilder, or I think physique competitor, technically. All these people just continue to work with him and collaborate with him as if nothing happened, and I don't understand it. I'm friends with Frank from Amur, who, although he gets slandered a lot in the press, as someone who personally knows him, is a completely stand-up guy. He's actually one of the, I think one of the guys with the most credibility and one of the most honest people and just straight-up genuine guys that I am friends with in the metal scene. So that's why you should never trust the media. However, when Amur opened for As I Lay Dying after all this, it's probably one of the only times I didn't go see Amur on a tour. And I never talked to Frank about it, but I don't want to put money in this guy's pocket. And I feel like after all this, right, things happening again and again and again, there's probably still people who are going to help support this guy, whether it's his work with Austrian Death Machine, which I enjoyed all that stuff. I really can't anymore. Or if he attempts to make a new lineup of As I Lay Dying, which he probably will. The guy's got to pay the bills, and unless he goes to jail for something else, he's probably going to continue to tour and make music, and people are going to continue to excuse it. And so one thing I don't get is that so many people stop listening to artists because they're like, this guy supports Trump, this guy supported Biden. In the grand scheme of things, guys, who gives a shit? That doesn't make someone a good or bad person and someone that you can't appreciate their art. Tim Lambesis, on the other hand, has proven himself time and again to not be a good person. So stop defending this guy. That is my message for today. And this will probably be the last that you ever hear me speak of Tim Lambesis. With that, I do hope you subscribe to the channel because we will be covering other great rock news, hopefully more positive rock news. And if you're a fan of the channel, I hope you pick up some merch. We have these great limited edition mugs as well as high quality t-shirts that we put out. And with that, check out this video right here for more rock news from right here on Ian Scotto Rocks.